Hey everybody, welcome into Scotty's Moto Garage. So tonight we're going to continue working on the RSV4. I'm going to try to get everything done tonight, so then that'll pretty much be everything. I mean, obviously I have some more parts that are going to be coming probably next week, so I guess it's not done. It's the way it is with bikes, they're never done. So we're going to be working on, here I'll give you a look at what we're doing. So we're going to be putting on ASV levers, and then I got a new clutch cable adjuster. So I got a red one for that. And then in the rear, I'm gonna pull the rear wheel off. We're gonna be putting a different sprocket on the rear, sprocket holder. And then they came with these silver ones, but I'm gonna, if I can, I'm gonna switch these. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to or not though, because I think these are bolts and these are nuts. So I think the ones that are on their stock are nuts like that. But for this setup, they are silver. So I haven't decided yet. Once I get it pulled, the old one pulled off, I might swap out and use my stock stuff so that I can go with the black CNC racing nuts. We'll see. I mean, these are titanium, so they're not like, it's not like they're crappy or anything. So I'll be doing that with the wheel off. I'm also going to be putting on the CNC axle adjusters, chain adjusters, CNC racing rear axle sliders, spools. I only got 2 of these bolts. If I should have got 4, I didn't realize. So there's actually 1, 2, and then there's 3, 4 down here. You can't really see those. So I'm going to put those 2 here on the outside that you can actually see. I'll probably order another set so I can swap those ones out down in there just so everything's symmetrical. The front and rear axle nut, CNC racing screen protector. I got these R&G racing tank traction grips. So I'm probably gonna install those tonight as well. So it's just the side ones, but they have cutouts for the stripe here. So pretty much I'll fill in this whole area here. So it gives you a good place to, grab when you're turning. So, but anyway, so that's the plan for tonight. And then that'll be the last of the major stuff that I'm going to be doing. Everything else is pretty much just cosmetic stuff. I'm going to get set up. I'll probably start by doing the levers first, and then I'll come back, and once I get set up for, get everything out that I'm going to need for doing the levers, I'll record and show you guys what I'm doing. All right, so we're going to start with the clutch. We're going to start removing the clutch lever. So I need a 10 millimeter. I just got one on a little socket here. And then you just got to take this bolt out off the bottom that holds this pin in. The only thing you have to be careful with on the clutch itself is that there's a little pin. I'll show you once I take the old lever off, and you'll be able to see it a lot better. When you take that off, you have to be, or when you install the new one, you have to be really careful because it, you don't want to break that, because that's your clutch switch that lets it know whether it's in or not. So I raise this up a little bit so I can see a little bit better. There you go. Stick. So unscrew it from the top, hold the bottom. The good thing about doing this when the bike's still fairly new, most of the stuff is in pretty good shape and it hasn't had time to be all gunked up and everything yet. There we go. Bolt and nut out. Hang on to that because we're going to need to use it to reinstall. And then you just got to unadjust with this. You have this little tensioner that holds on there. So you just got to pull back on it and then unscrew that. Grab that so it stays out of the way. So when you try pushing it down back here, all it does is slide it. There you go. I'm not going to squeeze it super hard because I don't want to deform it, but I want to get it out of the way of the knob so I can unscrew this. Well, I'm not going to take it all the way out. I'm just going to loosen this up to where the clutch is not tight. There we go. So now we can just swing that out. You flip it up to rotate this to where the cable hooks up. There So you just have to line the notch in this up with this notch back here, and you can pop it right out. So before we do that, it's actually like brake lubricant, but it's safe on like plastic and rubber and all kinds of stuff. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of this. I'm just gonna snag a little bit of this on my finger. And then I'm gonna put it on the hole right here on the top. So then as I stick the screw down in, it'll push it through with it. But I'm gonna put some on just a thin layer on the bottom here so that it's all lubricated and we're not. And let's see. Grab some, just any of the parts that are gonna be touching each other, put a little bit on there just so it's not binding up. All right. So then now we're gonna take this. Basically, and there's that little switch I was telling you about. So when you're putting this back in, you have to be real careful with this switch. Make sure you come out and push in on it instead of going straight in, because if you break that, then it's you have to get a whole new switch. So I'd rather not have to deal with that. So we'll put this into the new one. So now it's in there. Just flip it around. Now you just drop that back in there. And then I'm gonna rotate this in. Okay, so it looks like we have to kind of go we go. Just had to push it a little bit. I hate pushing on stuff though, because you don't want to break stuff. So all right, I got my lever in front of the clutch pin, and then now I just need to put it. Oh dang it! That's why I was gonna take it all the way off, because I've got to change this. All right, so now that we figured that out, let's fight our way back out with it. All right, there we go. Well, at least we know how to do it for the next time, and we know it'll switch right in there. It just rubs this area a little bit. You're not gonna be able to see it anyway. So now we're gonna take this out. So in the comments, tell me whether it's one thing I'm always curious about, because I'm still new to starting the channel and everything. And so when you're watching like a tutorial like this, you like it to where I'm showing exactly what I'm doing the entire time, or do you just want me to talk about it, what I'm gonna do it, and then come back and show it done? So if you can tell me down in the comments, because when I show the whole process, it makes the video a lot longer, and I have to like try to edit out the parts or speed up the parts that like nobody wants to watch struggle with something for 5 minutes. So let me know in the comments which you like better, whether you like it just cut up into pieces where it just skips from one part to the other, or you like to see the whole process happen. For right now, I'm gonna do this. On the other side, I don't know, I haven't decided what I'm gonna do over there. So we got the old one out. So now we got this one by Pro Bolt. So we're gonna get a nice cool anodized red one, so it matches all the other stuff that we're putting on. So we've got a nice red one. So insert that one in. Like it's not much to grab onto. It's like I get it, I know why it's there, but it's like when you're trying to just like completely run it in, then it's kind of a pain in the butt. All right, so back that up so that it's lined up. Now the pain in the butt thing will actually hold it in place like we want it to. So now we are ready to put the new, so that'll look better. So now it'll add some red there and then the red here. So I think it'll match up. Just one of those little small touches that just pops and gives it a little color. So there we go. And we're in front of it. Dang it, should have put that in first. See, this is why I show you, so you can see how to do it without having to fumble with shit like I do. I can make all the stupid mistakes, and then you can just be like, oh, okay, I won't do that. So, all right, there's my pin. Make sure I'm in front of it. Yep, good. Nut and bolt back in, and you can see it's kind of got like a little lock in, so like it's flat on these sides and then rounded, and then it matches up here. So you just push this through, and then it kind of like pops into place. Just reattach this to the bottom. There ain't a whole lot of room up in there. I got the smallest fingers. Get that started. Yeah, got a bunch of grease on my finger. Not that I care, but it just makes it kind of hard to hold stuff when your hands are all greasy. Wipe off that excess grease. My socket back out. So this is a pretty easy job. Just making sure my little switch was good in there. So now we just gotta snip that up. All right, so got that. Now we just gotta adjust our well, that's not ideal. Tighten it too much, or what's going on here? Because you definitely don't want your clutch doing that. I mean, that's tight as shit. Let me loosen that up a little bit. I mean, it was tight before, so yep, I guess I just tightened it a little bit too much. Pinched down on it. So, yeah. So don't do it that tight. All right. So now we want to. You know, I'm gonna come check. I'm pretty sure what I've always done, like on most of my bikes, is I usually do like a nickel's worth of slack here. But I'm going to double check on that before I set this up. Usually what I do is I'll pull back on the clutch lever a little bit, and then I'll see how much slack, so you can see all the slack you have there. Usually I do like, you know, like a nickel's worth of free play, and then adjust the levers from there, which I'm definitely going to be adjusting those things then. So it's way the hell out there. Anyway, so I'm going to double check what the, okay, I'm back. So the instructions say a coin's worth. So I've always, like I said, I've always done like a nickel's worth. So we're going to do like probably about like that. So I got to take this and adjust it out. And you want to pull back on it, because otherwise you won't get a true reading. So even though you screwed it in and it looks like it's up there close, if you pull it, it's going to stick out. So you want to pull back on the lever so you can see actually how much you have sticking out. So squeeze that down, give it a few more turns. So that's a little too tight, so let's go back this way a little bit. I think that's good, somewhere right around in there. I can always fine tune it later. Right, and if I'm on the bike, it's still a little far out there for my little stubby fingers. So I don't want it too close, because as you come up, you don't want to flick your fingers on them either. So you want to be able to like but you don't want to have to reach too far for it either. So there we go. I kind of like that. So there we go. Looks way better. Yeah, that's looking way better. It's coming along, folks. Yeah, I think that looks pretty sick. I'll probably adjust it after I have gloves on, because gloves make your fingers thicker. So as you come up, if you're not close to where you're sitting on the bike, you're not wanting to have to like reach way out to grab it. You just want to be able to reach up and grab it. So there we go. But all right, so on to the brake side. It's going to be basically the same process. The same process, but a little bit different. Because we're going to basically be taking this out of the master cylinder right here. All right, we're back on the brake side. Try to get you in here where you can see as good as possible, even though my big mitts are going to be in the way. So you need a 4mm hex or Allen, or if you want to say it, 10mm wrench. Try to be all prepared, but nothing ever goes to plan. So that's all right though. All right, so you got a 10mm nut down here, and then you have the hex up here. And basically just take this out. Okay, so that's out. And I'm just kind of twisting it while I push up from the bottom. I don't know if it's actually threaded in down there or not. It kind of feels like it is. Yep, it is threaded. Well, I mean, it's obviously threaded because I'm an idiot. I'm just going to shut up now. Of course it's threaded. There was a bolt on the other end, jackass. All right, so anyway, so we got that, and then gotta pull this out. So now this is where you have this little, this has a push rod on it that goes into there. So now we're gonna need to, they supply you with a longer one for ASV. It comes in its own little push rod. It's not like, this one screws into here, the stock one. The ASV one has a little, I couldn't see it because it was turned, has a little notch in here. And so that's going to go in like that and then go into here. So what we're going to do is get some more of our silicone grease stuff here, and we're going to grease that up a little bit. Got some on there and some up here as well. I think I can just stick this in there. There we go. Stick a little bit down in the hole. And kind of like the same thing with the clutch. I'm just gonna see which way is the top. Yeah, this is the top. So I usually put the bigger glob on the top so that as you push the bolt down through, it drags it down through there with you. So then you just have to see. Just got to make sure that this is lined up with the little hole there. Put that all together. Let's push this down through. I can't see what I'm doing because the grease is in the way. There we go. Okay, so the one on the bottom is just a lock washer or a lock nut. So now that that's in, yeah, see, we're still free to move. So far I haven't over tightened it. So I'm gonna try to get the bolt on with my greasy fingers, slipping all over the place. There we go. Snug it up, doesn't have to be super tight. So like I said, it's a lock nut. So pull that out, get her rag and wipe off the excess. And the same thing with this. I think that's good. I can always adjust it more once I have more my gloves on. But now before I do call that good, I'm gonna check my brake light. So need to set that back here. Yep, we have a brake light. Perfect. You know what? I never checked for this one. Yep, we got a brake light there too. Hey, we have brake lights. That's a good thing. So, all right. Well, I mean, that was pretty easy. I would say on a level of like what's hard and what's easy, that putting these on is pretty easy as long as you just take your time, pay attention. If you're not sure about something, read the directions. They have directions. There was a code to scan inside the box, and so I just scanned it on my phone and had it over off to the side so that if I had any questions on stuff. Really, I mean, that's the way most of this stuff is. If you have any mechanical aptitude at all, you can save yourself a lot of money. And, you know, having multiple bikes like I do, it can add up really fast on all the stuff that anything you want to do, you know, putting on aftermarket parts, even doing your basic services. Like if you don't know what you're doing, I mean, I wouldn't tell you to dig into your motor and try doing a valve adjustment. So the big thing is just know when is enough to say, okay, I should probably let a professional do this. But yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people are too worried about like messing something up that they don't even try. And a lot of this stuff is super easy. You know, just read the directions beforehand and then like pay attention to what you're doing. You'll be saving yourself a lot of money. You'll learn a lot about your bike that you didn't know before. I highly recommend just, you know, digging into it. And we have Google nowadays, and we have forums and all kinds of stuff. Like back in the day when I was working on stuff, I had me and my service manual and that was about it. But yeah, so don't be afraid to like learn about your bike and dig into it. All right, I'm gonna call it there. I'm gonna go ahead and raise this bike up, and then we'll transfer back to the rear of the bike and start working on stuff back there. All right, catch you in a little bit.
Hey everyone, thanks so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to give us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. It really helps out the channel and keeps you updated on all our latest content.